Alabama, about to get real chilly tomorrow night. A couple hours ago was the winter solstice, shortest day of the year, so it's actually longer now, as of 3 hours ago. Who cares, right? I can explain it all if you'd like. Okay, tonight, whack an atheist, Mr. Aron Nelson, who calls himself the sun god. Going to get it again, and this could go forever, Mr. Nelson. I don't have time. I'm going to get. We'll get into it in just a minute. Anyway, we're trying to wake you up. Really, we'd like to see you get converted. Be the next Apostle Paul. Okay, turn from your idiot atheism to some common sense. Wow, there's got to be a God. Let's tell everybody about him. Okay, so tonight, whack an atheist, December 21st, Mr. Nelson. Last night we did Mr. Kennedy on a debate. We got Mr. Evan. I don't know when's that. Let's see, Evan coming up next Tuesday night. Okay, so tune in for that one, and then one more for the Grayson on the 29th. If you want to come down and join us for Christmas dinner, come on down. We're having a blast around here. Let's see, help us reach the whole world. Come visit our science center and take all the tours and pig out on Christmas Day. You got to come to church, 10:30. Then come over and join us for the meal right across the sidewalk here. So lots of good stuff going on. Those guys can cook. I'll take that one right there. Okay, let's see. Do it again on Christmas December 25th. Genesis Baptist Church. Food, tours, games, set the record, nap, party, another nap, and then another nap. Okay. 6 days, God made everything, he said. And I believe that. What he said, the dinosaurs lived with man. And evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religious cult in the history of the world. It's a mental illness. The fool said in his heart, there's no God. We've had 252 baptized here. If you want to help us win souls, you can support us. You got someplace better to put your money and earn rewards? Okay, put it there then. But you can join our 777 club. Go to drdino.com and help us win souls. Make any donations to CSE. Okay, get our video series on creation and the Bible. We just want to strengthen your faith. Get our series on the future. Whoa, what on earth's about to happen? And then come visit Dinosaur Adventure Land with Dr. Kent, the science gent. Mr. Nelson, I know you think you're a sun god. I know. I'm Dr. Kent, the science gent. Okay, come take the tour. Tons of fun and lots of stuff to do. It's all free here, straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, 1 mile north of downtown Lenox, if you can call it that. There's our Genesis Baptist Church. Okay, whack an atheist. No atheists are harmed in the making of these videos. It's a joke, okay? We're trying to take real science. See, the word science means knowledge. Real science. Where's my SpongeBob? Oh, here he is. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay.
And a big one behind me.
And a big one behind me. And try to knock some sense into you. There's a God. He designed the universe. Evolution is stupid. It didn't happen. There's no evidence for it. It's dumb. Okay, small children can learn how to do it. It's fun, it's fast, it's easy to do. We have a good time around here. So let's see. Whack an atheist. Wake up before it's too late. This is a wake-up call. It's a target-rich environment. Have a hard time selecting which atheist. If any of them say something that bothers you, text me or text the office. Say, would you do this guy next? And we'll add him to the long list. Okay. God said, you're a fool if you don't believe in him. And I believe that. The fool said in his heart, there's no God. Okay, so lots of atheists need whacked. We can only do one at a time. So the winner tonight is Mr. Nelson again. Formerly Aron Nelson, October 25th, 62, an American author, podcaster, and atheist activist. I don't think you need to go to school for any of those. Anyway, the Raw Men podcast. Wow. I've talked to him. I've had a couple of discussions, debates with him in the past. Let's see. Science meets fiction. That is science on the right there and fiction on the left, okay? I did it again on some discussion on YouTube. He did a whole series on my supposed lies in the textbooks, he calls it. 32, he made 32 videos about each one of what I call my lies in the textbooks on video number 4 in here. And he claims he answered them. He didn't answer any of them. He's a slick-talking salesman, used car salesman, okay? And we'll go through it tonight, okay? All he does is talk fast. People are just, wow, he used a bunch of big words. Wow, you must be right. And he tricks you. There's a classic old skit from many, many moons ago, 2 10s for a 5. This is Mr. Nelson.
Now, no remarks, boys, please. Remember, it's all for charity. How much you want to bet, ma'am? $10. Now, that's a good bet coming from you.
Wait, that's fun. Pull on the bazaar grounds or
Wait
something?
a minute, quiet. All right, never mind that. You want to bet $10? Now, let's see. $10 doesn't go. All right. But you got 2 10s for a 5? Yes, sir. Thank you. Now, there's your $10. Now, here's the idea of the game. I guess I'll let it underneath the shell like that. It's a very simple deal. You don't keep your eye on the weather, that's all. Now we just toss it around the table. Toss it around 3 or 4 times.
Whoa, wait a minute! I'm not losing here, but what kind of testimony you just give me?
Not just a minute.
You just said you got 2 10 for 5 and I don't like to give it to you.
I'm
2
still
10 for 5.
Still busy, huh? Still busy.
Hey, pal, what are you trying to see me for?
It's my own fault I'm going
$15 went south. That's
All right.
all right.
Forget about it. Here's your 5. Give me back my 2 10. That's better. Now get out.
Well, come try to see me.
Roll down the middle.
Because I'm as smart as you are anything.
Now,
Time I think I...
I want everyone to you place it underneath the shell. Now, if you want that shell, still lazy, just 2 10. Give me a 5. Quick.
You did it to me.
You did it to me, too. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm doing wrong. That 2 10 for 5 business.
I'll get you, Lincoln. No, Bobby, just a minute. Excuse me. Just put that in your pencil. Take a number. Any number at all from 1 to 10. 4. No, number 5. But you were close. You see, you're getting hot. You're getting hot. Stick with it. You're on to it, son. Now, madam, is there 64?
You want some money? Yeah. On the side?
I don't mind.
Well, put the whole watch like that.
Okay.
Now go ahead. You take a number. Any number at all from 1 to 10.
Any number.
Yeah.
Number 8. Wait a minute. Let me get in on some of this easy gravy. There. What you got there? 35? You take a number from 1 to 10. Number 6. Now, number 7. I have number 7. Will you go away from here, please? Madam?
2 10s. How many have never seen that before? 2 10s for a 5. This is Mr. Nelson. Slick talk, fast talk. Watch what he does here. And he talks people into believing just anything. Oh. I got the wrong one here. Let's get to the next video clip. Let's see. PowerPoint. Whack an atheist. Debates. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Randall, I got to shut this. Come over here. Shut this one down.
Almost there.
There we go. Do it again.
Press F12.
Do what?
Press F12.
Press
F12.
F12. F12.
Press escape.
Escape. Okay.
Drag it back over it. Minimize it.
I do not understand what you are saying.
Minimize it.
Minimize it.
Use your mouse. There you go.
Okay. Well, there he is, but he ain't showing up.
Click the other one.
Say it slower. What?
The other one to the left. Don't exit it right there.
Click this one. Ah, okay. There.
And exit the other one.
And exit the other one.
Go back up to the
This is why we need Randy. And exit this one. Oh, okay, you mean right there. Ah. Now I can click this one.
As a matter of fact, without any supported evidence, just on your own erroneous assumption of authority, and you refuse to...
We got to back up. I'm going to try to get a full 12 minutes of his blabbering in here so you can, his teaching, okay? Watch the slick talking. 2 10s for 5.
You connected to the internet?
I thought I was. The last one just worked. Here, you fix it.
Nope, you're not connected.
That'll help.
Yep.
Which one you want?
Click down. Scroll down.
Scroll down. Excuse me, folks. According to evolution, things get better automatically.
Click that one. They gave me one.
This one, okay. Connect. All this so we can get to here, Mr. Nelson, 2 10s for a 5. It'll be worth it.
Click exit with all that.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. And now, go find him again. He's up here somewhere. Is that him? He's still giving me the big circle thing here.
This is a few slides out of my seminar part 4, Lies in the Textbooks, if you folks would like all this, which is part of the bigger series, Creation Seminar, $50 for the whole thing, 18 hours on creation, evolution, all the facts for creation. Okay.
This video is a response to that seminar from 2005, but it isn't so much about the speaker as the arguments that he is obviously still peddling and that most other young earth creationists still use to this day. Often,
Mr. Nelson, could it be we're not peddling anything? We are teaching the truth. And maybe most young earth creationists use these because they're true. You are still peddling a whole bunch of lies about evolution. We're not peddling anything. We're trying to teach people the truth. The earth cannot be billions of years old. There are at least 30 some lies in the textbooks. We're going to cover just part of one of them tonight. I'll do them all if you'd like. You were wrong on every single one. And I'll debate you anytime on standing for truth. Because, see, they shut off your mic when it's my turn to talk. You won't be able to sell your used cars that way, will you?
copying directly from this particular charlatan. Now, this guy doesn't have a very good reputation even among Christians, but I've chosen to feature his seminar because he still sources it, and so do a lot of other people, so that is the thing to correct. It also exemplifies the anti-intellectual silliness of alternative facts supporting an alternative reality, and because this speaker exudes so much grossly garbled nonsense, more than any other single quack in his business, that it just makes my job easier to illustrate vividly how demonstrably, laughably wrong about everything religious fundamentalism is. Because it's not just this one guy saying all these stupid things way back when, but the majority of everyone who believes as he does is still saying these same things today. And it's...
Again, maybe it's true. I know you don't like that, because if there's a God, that's going to greatly affect your lifestyle, isn't it, Mr. Nelson?
all wrong, and I can prove it. So by correcting him, I'm correcting all of them. And if you believe as he does, then this video is intended for you. Not as an attack against you, but to help you to better understand the way things really are, to help you out of a deliberate deception. I've had viewers who are still Christian and thank me for teaching them the truth about evolution. They say it's easier to lie to someone than to convince them they've been lied to. And that's why he has such an easy living and why I have such a difficult job trying to reach
You have such a difficult job. Whoa. Okay.
these people who maybe don't even care what is really true, or because they've sunk so much into creationism that they don't want to admit that they were fooled by some know-nothing preacher.
Could it be people sunk a lot into evolution and don't want to be fooled by anything else because they like their lifestyle? Could that be true, Mr. Nelson?
Do you want to know for sure who is right or wrong and
Yes. Do you?
what the science really is? If so, then let's get started.
Let's go. Let's go.
Dr. Hovind taught science for 15 years.
I taught algebra, geometry, trigonometry, biology, earth science, and physical science for 15 years in Christian schools. I will take a quiz against some of you. If you believe or don't think I know those subjects, you are wrong. I think we do really well. We have a science center here. If you don't like it, tough. Okay?
Then he got his PhD in education.
I worked really hard for my degree, Mr. Nelson. Did you work hard to get your God title?
He's always had a love for teaching.
By the way, everything you're doing here is called ad hominem attack. It has nothing to do with the topic. So call Standing for Truth, Mr. Nelson, and let's have a debate. Give me the best evidence you know of for evolution, one at a time. I will debunk them for everybody, one at a time, okay? And then when it's my turn to talk, shut up. Donnie, Standing for Truth, shut off his mic. He won't listen any other way. You can shut off my mic when it's his turn to talk, his mic when it's my turn to talk. Equal time, no interrupting, and no cursing. I learn stuff all the time, okay? I read. I'm a readaholic. I learn a lot. I think I have a pretty well-rounded education in a lot of things, Mr. Nelson. Do you know how to change the wobulator shaft on or the muffler bearings on your car? Huh?
But one thing that he's discovered is that in many of the science textbooks across America today, there are some fallacies, some false information being presented. Why is this information in the science textbooks? What are they trying to prove? Hi, my name is Aron, and in this seminar called Lies in the Textbooks, you're going to find out some of those lies that are being presented and what you can do about it. Well, welcome to our seminar on Lies in the Textbooks. My name is Kent Hovind. I taught high school science for 15 years, and now since 1989.
Mr. Nelson, I taught in Christian schools, okay? Is it okay to have a Christian school? Does it have to be a public school? I'll take on any public school teacher in a debate. Bring them on. I've spoken in many public schools, and we'll do it again. My videos are in lots of public schools, but it's okay to teach in a Christian school. Actually, I think they test out higher academically, except in stuff like evolution religion.
I've been doing seminars on creation, evolution, and dinosaurs. And our goal is to strengthen your faith in God's Word.
Amen.
Now, this is not my wife. That's just a picture of her. We live in Pensacola, Florida. Been there 16 years. Have 3 children, 1 of each. And I got them all married, and the dog died. Praise God. So I'm home free. And as we mentioned earlier, we have 4 grandkids so far, and that's God's reward for not killing your own kids when you thought about it. So we got a whole tribe, and they all live right around me and all work in our ministry. A real blessing to all have them.
We're 70 miles away, Mr. Nelson, straight north, no problem.
Right there. God's given us an amazing staff of people at Creation Science Evangelism. Our purpose is to...
Mr. Nelson, we moved. We are now in Lenox, Alabama. We're not closed and out of business. Man, you are desperate, aren't you, son? Yeah.
Get people saved. Okay? We like science at our place. We have Dinosaur Adventure Land. We have a science center, a theme park, and a museum, all kinds of cool science stuff.
That building is still in Pensacola. We are now in Lenox, Alabama, Mr. Nelson. Google Lenox, okay?
Some people try to say, well, you Christians are against science. No, I like science. I'm against evolution because it's not part of science.
No. Evolution is not part of science, Mr. Nelson. You think it is? Call Standing for Truth. You coward. They've standing off for been for months now. I'll do the debate on there because they'll shut off your mic when it's my turn to talk. That's the only fair way to get to debate with you, okay? So no, you're the Pinocchio here, claiming there's evidence for evolution.
Evolution's a lie, okay? There's no scientific evidence to back up evolution. We'll get into that in just a minute. The Bible says in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not bear false witness. Don't lie.
Then why did you say there's no evidence of evolution?
Because there's no evidence for evolution. You got some? Bring the best one to Standing for Truth, Mr. Nelson. You thief. Watch how he fast-talking 2 10s for a 5. Watch how he does this here.
Understand that scientific evidence is a body of facts, objectively verifiable data, meaning things we can prove to be true.
Okay. Can you prove to be true that any animal in history has ever produced offspring other than its same kind? You have charts in your textbook showing amoebas related to bananas and elephants and eagles. Can you prove that? Where's the proof? How could you possibly prove such a thing? Nobody's ever seen an eagle produce a non-baby eagle. Nobody's ever seen a dog produce a non-dog. But you want to bamboozle your followers, your simple-minded followers, into thinking, wow, we drew a line on paper connecting the eagle and the banana. Look, that's proof. Yeah, is your line on paper proof?
And that are positively indicative of and or exclusively concordant with only one available position or hypothesis over any other.
Let me translate that for you. You got 2 10s for a 5?
So let's look at the fact that evolution happens, that biodiversity and complexity do increase.
Biodiversity increases. I don't know about complexity. I'd like to see some evidence of that. But that's not what you really mean by evolution. You're giving examples of variation within the kind. You don't have any examples of a cow producing a non-cow or a dog producing a non-dog or an amoeba producing a non-amoeba. You are bamboozling your simple-minded followers, Mr. Nelson.
And that both occur naturally only by evolutionary means.
No, both occur naturally. They're designed. God designed all the creatures to produce a variety of offspring so some can survive in different environments. Some are more comfortable in cold weather. Some are more comfortable in hot weather. Some are more comfortable in a cold climate or a dry climate, wet climate. It's still the same kind. 400 species of cows now have been developed mostly by farmers. Most would not survive in the wild by themselves. And they're still cow. They can't somehow get out of the cow clade, can they? But you believe, Professor Dave believes he's related to a strawberry. Did I ask you, what's he related to? Did I say that? Let's try this one. Mr. Nelson, do you believe you're related to a cow? Not just in looks, I mean in genealogy.
You said yourself that you accept microevolution. Well, that's still evolution.
No, I say clearly microevolution is a lousy term. We shouldn't use it. There's variations within the kind. But that's as far as it goes. You hit a brick wall. Fish produce fish. Cows produce cows. Dogs produce dogs. That doesn't prove they're related. Don't twist it up here and sell them 2 10s for a 5.
And all the same mechanisms continue on through macroevolution too.
That's dreaming. That's lying. That's not science. Nobody's seen any of those mechanisms continue on through macroevolution. You're dreaming. You draw the lines on paper and claim it's evidence because you drew them with a line, connected them with a line. No. There is no evidence for macroevolution. None. You got some? Call Standing for Truth, Mr. Nelson, or come to Dinosaur Adventure Land. You can sit right here. You control the mics. When it's my turn to talk, shut his off. Might have to put a bag over his head also, but then we'll have a debate right here. Come on down.
And both have been directly observed and documented.
No, you're lying. Macroevolution has never been observed or documented. You see what he just did? 2 10s for a 5?
In the lab and in naturally controlled conditions of the field. Now, can you show me an example of microcreation?
That's a meaningless term, I think. God created everything to bring forth after their kind. And that's all that's ever happened. There are 4,000 varieties of potatoes farmers have developed now. Might have had a common ancestor called a potato. You got an example of a potato becoming a non-potato? Or a dog becoming a non-dog? Show me an example, Mr. Nelson. Come on.
No. Despite what you may have seen in Vegas, no one has ever poofed an organism out of nothing.
You believe it did. You believe the whole universe poofed out of nothing. Go look in the mirror, son.
Nor has any aspect of the supernatural ever been verified to any degree at all. Not even.
We don't have to prove the supernatural. We're not demanding that everybody pay for that to be taught in the public schools. You want your religion taught exclusively in the public schools. Why don't you guys, why don't all you atheists go start a private school and teach evolution to whoever pays to come there and leave it out of our public schools? Why don't you try that? See how far you'd get.
Even enough to show that that it is anything more than mere imagination. But evolution is an inescapable fact of population genetics.
2 10s for a 5? How about 3 10s for a 5 with that one? What do you mean it's an inescapable fact? Nobody ever sees this. It takes place in the imagination. You and SpongeBob get along well.
Any investigation into it will prove that alleles vary with increasing distinction in reproductive populations.
I agree. The alleles vary and they stay within the same kind, don't they, Mr. Nelson? Do you have an example where they don't? Show me any example of a bacteria producing a non-bacteria. You believe bacteria turn to whales. Show me the science behind that. You just are making these statements. 2 10s for a 5.
And that they are accelerated in genetically isolated groups.
Okay, so in a genetically isolated group, they still stay within the same kind. You can go up to Alaska and see the bears that have been isolated for a long time, the polar bears. White fur. Guess what? They blend in better with the snow. They wouldn't blend in very well in the woods, would they? That's not because they're still a bear. The polar bears only produce baby bears. And there's 8 kinds of bears now. Might have had a common ancestor called a bear. Do you believe bears are related to salmon?
It is a fact that natural selection, sexual selection, and genetic drift have all been proven to have a predictable effect in guiding this variance.
I agree. They select. Go back and listen to what you said. Natural selection selects. That's all it does. If I took 50 kids and said, I want you all to run around the track, I'm going to select the first 5 to train to go faster. Okay? I didn't create a fast runner. I selected the best 5, and then I trained them and let them run again and again and again, and we can select a faster runner. You might get one to go, around the 100-yard dash in 9 seconds. I don't know. It's pretty fast. but you're never going to get one to do the 100-yard dash in 1 second. You don't get it. I just don't understand how you can be so dense between your ears. There is no evidence of evolution. Natural selection is not part of evolution. It's a selection process. Some survive. Turn all the dogs in the world loose into Alaska. Only a certain type would survive. Nature, the cold weather, would select most of them to die, and some to survive if they got long hair and thick bodies. They didn't create a dog, didn't create the hair, didn't create the thick body. It selected it. How can you guys not get this? Gee.
It is a fact that significant beneficial mutations do occur and are inherited by descendant groups.
Significant mutations occur and are inherited. Show me one of these, Mr. Nelson, you slick talking salesman. Show me these beneficial mutations. I'd like to see one. All the mutations I'm aware of are neutral, harmful, or fatal. And then if you had a beneficial mutation, who would it marry? And this goes right back to Adolf Hitler. If you got a beneficial mutation, and it's now all the rest of them have to die, don't they? Or the good one can't take over the population. Yeah, we better select out the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Norwegians and Germans. They get to survive. Everybody else has to die. This leads right straight to Hitler. Watch my video number 5, Mr. Nelson. No, there is no evidence of these beneficial mutations taking over. This is your part of your dream. And you spread this lie to your followers.
And that multiple independent sets of biological markers have been used to trace these lineages backward over many generations.
4 tenths for a 5. Yeah, right. You're just... I won't use the word I was going to use. This is baloney, okay?
And that significant mutation rates in mitochondrial DNA provide a molecular clock showing a history of repeated diversification of lineages that matches what we see in the fossil record, too.
This is absolute baloney again. Stop and analyze what you are saying. You're fooling your people over and over and over. 2 tenths for a 5? This is all you're doing. There's no evidence for this. You're making stuff up. This is part of your dream. You believe in evolution. This isn't science. You're displaying your religion, is what you're doing.
It is a fact that birds are a taxonomic subset of dinosaurs.
You are insane to believe such a thing. Birds are a taxonomic subset of dinosaurs. Who in their right mind would believe such an idiotic thing? Listen to me. Birds have feathers, okay? They can fly, most of them. Reptiles don't have feathers. They have scales. Yeah. They have 3-chambered heart versus 4-chambered heart. There's a lot of differences. Perching feet, walking feet. If you can dream and you can believe they're related, and you do because some idiot started teaching that some time ago, and you fell for it, and now you're passing on that. What an idiot belief that birds came from dinosaurs. Mark me down. Tell all the rest of your atheist friends. Hovind says you're an idiot if you believe birds are related to dinosaurs. Okay? Absolute moron. You're a fool. Okay? I'll debate all of you same time. Half my brain tied behind my back. Okay?
In the same way that lions are cats and iguanas are lizards. And
no, lions are cats. I would agree. See, look at what he just mixed together. 2 tenths for a 5? You slick talking salesman. Oh, yeah, because lions are cats, therefore birds are dinosaurs? I don't know if there's any help or not. I hope I can help some of your followers.
And that humans are a subset of apes.
Speak for yourself, and maybe you just did, but I am not, okay? Humans are different than apes in thousands of ways. There are some similarities because they have the same designer. We got 2 eyes in the front. So did they. Whoa, that didn't prove anything, relationship-wise. Monkeys always make baby monkeys, every time. No exceptions. If you want to believe you're related to a monkey, go ahead. But it's not science.
As well as primates, eutherian mammals, and vertebrate deuterostome animals. The fact that people are still apes today.
The fact that people are still apes today. 2 tenths for a 5? He just goes right on. And his followers drink this stuff up. They love it. All of your people ought to stop about every 3 seconds. Shut it off and stop. What did he just say? Do you really believe that? You do, I know.
Is evidence that we evolved from apes.
So the fact that we are like apes is evidence we evolved from apes. Oh, this is.
It is a fact that the collective genome of all animals has been traced to its most basal form, and
that is not a fact. It's a fact that the genome of all the different creatures is really complex, and it's a fact some morons have drawn lines between those and claiming that there's some kind of relationship. That's not science. It's drawing a line. It's artwork. That's all evolution is. At the best, it's artwork.
That those forms are also indicated by comparative morphology, physiology, and embryological development.
Oh, you're still using embryological development, you liar. That's been proven wrong since 1874. Read my lips. You're a liar. Stop telling your people embryological development proves evolution. Let me say it again. You're a liar. Come debate me on that one.
It is a fact that everything on Earth has living relatives, definite living relatives, either living nearby or evident in the fossil record.
There's no such thing as a fossil record. There are fossils, but it's not a record. Stop calling it that, okay? There's a bunch of fossils from a flood, but it's a fact that everything's related. You just make these statements and go on. 2 10s for a 5?
And it is a fact that the fossil record holds hundreds of transitional species, even according to...
That is just a bold-faced lie. Tell you what, call Standing for Truth, pick out the best 3, say we're going to talk about these 3 transitional fossils. First place, if you find a fossil that you think is halfway between A and B, how do you know that fossil had any kids? You don't. You couldn't prove it had any kids that lived. Could you prove it had kids that lived that were different? Why can't animals today do this? Animals today are still having babies. Why don't they produce something different, Mr. Nelson? Why is it only the bone in the dirt can do it? Animals today can't do it. You're a moron. Man.
To the strictest definition of that term. And the origin of species by means of natural selection has even been repeated in the lab.
Now you're really dreaming. You can create species in the lab. Can you create life in the lab too? I want to see this, okay?
Living examples. Now, your fans should know that I've already shown you most of this and that you had no rebuttal, even though...
You have already shown me most of this. You haven't shown me anything so far in the first 7 minutes. Call for a debate, Standing for Truth, and I'll rebut any bit of it. You go so fast, you throw out 30 items, they're going to make you go one topic at a time. What's your favorite, best evidence for evolution, Mr. Nelson? Just the very best one. Send it to them. We'll discuss that one. Is it embryological development? You want to debate that one, do you? Ernst Haeckel? Man. Proven wrong. 1874, Mr. Nelson. I thought you'd like to keep up with science. Why don't you watch my video number 4 again?
No, we were in a public debate at that time. These are all facts in evidence for evolution. They are.
None of those are facts or evidence for evolution. Here you go. Look at this, boys and girls. Here's him teaching his audience. Look at this. I just showed him 2 10s for a 5.
Testable, verifiable, sometimes even directly observable in real time. Yet you just said there was no evidence at all. If you're going to be honest.
I am. Are you going to be honest? You're not, okay? You're a liar.
You can say that there is evidence of evolution, but that you don't like it. And then you can make excuses for why there's no evidence of creation.
No, I'd like to see the evidence for evolution. I just did 50 debates in the last year on Standing for Truth, and that was the whole topic every time. Where's the evidence for evolution? Nobody showed any. Go back and look at Standing for Truth, all 50 debates I did. Pick out the best one. Where did any of them show me any evidence for evolution? Any of them. Where's your best evidence, Mr. Nelson? Come on. Just one. Just pick one. Embryology? You go throw out those words real quick and everybody says, wow, he knows big words. He must be smart.
But don't say there's no evidence of evolution.
Okay, watch my lips. There's no evidence for evolution. None.
Not when you know there is literally tons of it.
I mean literally tons of it. There's none. There's no evidence that any animal or plant has ever produced anything other than its same kind. You are dreaming. Quit lying to your people.
From several different independent fields of study.
Proverbs says, a false witness shall not be unpunished. He that speaketh lies shall not escape.
Then why did you just say that evolution was not part of science?
Because evolution is not part of science. Evolution is a religious belief and nothing more. There's no scientific evidence for those charts you make with the lines on paper. There's no evidence in history of anybody, any farmer in the world ever seeing any plant or animal produce offspring other than what everybody would call the same kind. They've developed varieties of apples now, I think 1,100 varieties of apples. Yay, still apple, aren't they? Does that prove apples are related to elephants? In your book it is.
Science Daily counts evolution as one of 4 foundations of modern.
I don't care what they think. They might think evolution is the foundation. A lot of people think creation is the foundation of science. The fact is, science comes from the Latin word "scire," to know. What do we know? We know dogs produce dogs. We know that. We can see it happen. We do not know dogs and bananas are related. So evolution is not part of science.
Modern biology. And of course, pioneer biologists and leading textbook biologists.
Oh, Kenneth Meare, the Catholic, teaches up in New England. I'll debate him anytime. I got his book here thoroughly marked up. Kenneth, anytime, standing for truth. You've been teaching your kids this lie of evolution for years. I'll debate you and Brzezinski, I believe, is dead. But any of you, Aron, come on. There is no evidence for evolution. They might believe it. They might teach it to their students. It doesn't make it true. The Muslims believe their religion and teach it to their people too. So do the Hindus, so do the Buddhists, so do the Satanists. That's not how you determine truth. Where is this observable scientific evidence for evolution? I'd like to see it.
Both overwhelmingly share that conclusion, even though...
I'll debate them both same time. And you, all three. Half my brain tied behind my back.
Ones who believe in the Christian God.
Well, we won't discuss Catholic right here, right now, but that's a different story. Okay.
In fact, when a Wisconsin school board passed anti-evolution policies in 2004, hundreds of reasonable Christians got together on the Clergy Letter Project, wherein a collection of religious leaders of Christianity and a few other faiths said that we believe that the theory of evolution is a foundational scientific truth.
What did they say? We believe? True. I don't care what they believe. Science is what we can observe, study, and test. You can believe anything you want, and that's all there is to evolution, is a belief in evolution. That's why I said hundreds and thousands of times, it's a religious belief. It's the dumbest religion in the world, but it's nothing more than a religion, and you're welcome to believe it. But don't call it science. It may be true that a lot of people who claim to be Christian also believe in evolution. That doesn't make it true. Think. If everybody believed the earth was flat, would that flatten it out?
One that has stood up to rigorous scrutiny and upon which much of human knowledge and achievement rests. To reject this truth.
First they state, we believe now they call it a truth. Do you see what they're doing here? Want 2 10s for a 5? Slick talk, yeah.
Or to treat it as one theory among others is to deliberately embrace scientific ignorance.
This is a bold-faced lie, this whole statement here. I don't care if a bunch of people believe that. I don't, and millions of others don't. And we don't decide truth on majority opinion. Science is based on evidence. Where is the evidence? You believe you're related to a strawberry, like Professor Dave. Where is the scientific evidence? Do you have any children? Are they anything other than human? I'd be willing to bet $5 your mom and dad were both humans.
And transmit such ignorance to our children.
We're doing that already, transmitting this ignorant evolution theory to our children. They're doing it. It's ignorant to believe that.
Likewise, when the Texas Board of Education threatens to undermine education by teaching the weaknesses of evolution, meaning...
They should teach the weakness of any theory. You want to use evidence like embryology proven wrong in 1874 and keep that it's still in the textbooks, one of the lies, been proven wrong a long time ago. It's not true. You want to keep that in there because you don't have anything else, do you?
To allow in religious pseudoscience propaganda, a collection of more than 800 Texas scientists endorsed this response, which was posted to the website texasscientist.org. The fact that biological populations evolve is not in question.
Well, in their mind, and what do they mean by evolve? Biological populations vary, but they're within limits. This is what they leave out of that statement. Sure, there's variations in populations. Turn all the dogs in the world loose in Alaska, and pretty soon they'd all have thick fur because the other ones would die off. It didn't create fur. It didn't create dog. It just selected a piece of the pre-existing population genetics. So yes, we've got to read these things very slowly and carefully. Otherwise, we're going to give you 2 10s for a 5. Yeah.
Evolution is an easily observable phenomenon and has been documented beyond any reasonable doubt.
Okay, Texas scientists, all of you Texas scientists, listen to me. I'll debate all of you same time. You just lied through your teeth, all of you, or you're stupid. There is no scientific evidence for evolution. The theory part of evolution concerns the experiments. Let's see. It's been documented beyond reasonable doubt. Okay. Show me what evidence documented this. Where is any evidence of a single-celled creature, like an amoeba, bacteria, protozoa, becoming like an elephant over trillions of generations? How could you possibly prove that? That's not science. It's a religion.
The theory part of evolutionary theory concerns the experiments, observations, and models that explain how populations evolve. At this level of introductory instruction, it is ludicrous to think about teaching what some people disingenuously call weaknesses.
So we can't teach the students things about the theory that might not be true, the weakness of the theory. I think one of the weaknesses is, boys and girls, we've never seen this, but we believe it. Why don't you teach them that? Why do you have lines on paper? Kids, look at this. You see the dog and the elephant and the banana go to a common ancestor, and it was a protozoa, and it'll be on the test. What's the common ancestor between dog, elephant, and banana? And the kid has to answer protozoa, or he gets it wrong, doesn't he? Because they drew a line on paper. Pure propaganda. This thing fires me up, brother.
We teach what is known and has been supported by a huge body of scientific.
Okay, we know dogs produce dogs. Do any of you Texas scientists, any of you, know of an example where a dog did not produce a dog, or something other than a dog produced a dog? We don't know anything other than that. See, science is what we know. This is Texas Scientist Organization of religious fanatics if they believe in evolution. It's nothing but a religion. And again, I'll take all of you on at the same time or one at a time. Line them up. I'll knock them down.
Research. Then the National Academy of Sciences published a book saying that evolutionary biology has been and continues to be a cornerstone of science.
Hey, I have published books that say it's a lie. So I published a book, Mr. Nelson. Yeah, look at that. I published a bunch of books. Yeah, okay. That's proof, isn't it?
And it explains why non-scientific alternatives to evolution, such as creationism, should not be part of the science curriculum in the nation's public schools.
Well, they can believe that if they want, but that's not, this is part of the propaganda baloney. I bet if you went to Hitler's Germany in 1941, they would say anything against Nazism should not be taught in our schools, wouldn't they? I bet if you went to communist China today, they would say anything anti-communist should not be taught in our schools. We don't want to confuse the kids. I bet if you went to a Muslim country today, they would say, we don't want to teach any kids anything against Islam, wouldn't they? Does that make it true? That's your logic.
So, given an official declaration by the National Academy of Sciences, along with numerous other scientists and science organizations, and scientifically competent Christians, versus your uneducated.
The fact that a lot of people, do you know anything about history of science? This is how new ideas come in all the time. They had, wagons for a long time. Nobody thought about, a gasoline-powered engine. Whoa. We would have no advancement in science at all if people weren't allowed to think outside the box. It's true that the atheists in the last 100 years have kind of closed the box and they kind of have control of the system. I agree. I don't think it's good. I know what happened, and I'm going to try to fight it till I die, okay? But it's not science. Evolution is not part of science. It's a religion.
Anti-intellectual bias? I think I'm going to have to side.
I don't have an anti-intellectual bias. I have an IQ of 150 or 60, whatever it was they told me in 8th grade. That's the only time I had it tested. It doesn't matter to me. I read a lot. I'm pretty smart in some areas, and I'll debate you anytime, Mr. Nelson. Bring it on. There is no evidence for evolution, none. If you got somebody, I was going to say when you find lots of people smarter than you, tell them I'll debate them too. All of them. All of them. I'm not afraid of any of you. Come on, bring it on. Okay.
With the experts who say that evolution definitely is part of science.
Okay, I'm the expert, Dr. Kent, the science gent. I say it's not. There you go. Case closed.
God hates liars. Bible says they delight in lies. Okay?
Then why did you say that you like science?
Science, from the Latin word "seer," to know. We know dogs produce dogs. I like science. I'm not against science. I'm against mixing a poison called evolution in with it. I like water. I'd be against mixing poison in with it for the kids to drink. I'm against mixing evolution in with our science. Evolution is a religion mixed in with science. It's not part of it.
Even though you've dedicated your life to undermining everything science is or does and everything.
What? We have a science center. We teach all kinds of things. I'll tell you what. I'll teach you the scientific way to shoot a rubber band or make a paper airplane. Yeah. My record's 420 feet with a paper airplane, Mr. Nelson. My record with shooting a rubber band, 92 feet. Wow. You know the scientific way? We got lots of science here. We have a science center. We have all kinds of science activities. Yes, we're not against science. We're against evolution because it's not part of it. Get it out of our science book.
It stands for. Or do you say that you like science because misreporting and distorting it has brought you wealth and fame?
I'm not distorting science. You are the one distorting it, and it sure hasn't brought me any wealth or fame. How many anti-Hovind websites are there, an anti-Hovind channel? Brought me a lot of hatred. Be a lot simpler to just build houses. I'm a real good carpenter and make a lot of money and retire and drive around in a Cadillac. Instead, I got a car that's 20 years old and love it. Drive around, I'm happy. Never had a new car. Live in a house like cabin like everybody else around here. I'm not a rich and famous evangelist. I'm not in this for the money. I'm teaching the truth. How much money do you make from your atheism, Mr. Nelson? What kind of house do you live in? I don't know and I don't care. But if you really want to go down that route, I guess we could get somebody to do some comparison, shouldn't we? How old's your car? How many miles it got on it?
Because all of your citations are decades out of date, which you've misunderstood and misrepresented.
So all of my citations are old and they're out and I don't understand them and I misrepresented them. You're calling everything I said a lie. You're the liar, okay? Come on down. I'll say it to your face. You're lying. There is no evidence for evolution. None.
And that shows that you don't follow science either.
I love science. Tell me what I did. What did I miss? Where's the evidence? Ask any farmer anywhere. Have you ever seen your creature, what do you raise? Carrots. Have you ever seen your carrots produce a non-carrot? No. Always make baby carrots. Oh, wow. Why is that?
You're not even interested in it.
These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A lying tongue, then a couple of verses later, a false witness that speaketh lies. Out of the 7 things God hates, 2 of them are liars. He must really hate them. He lists them in there twice, okay?
Then why did you say that evolution is a lie?
Because it's a lie?
Knowing that it has been demonstrated to.
I don't know that it's been demonstrated. Neither do you. Call Standing for Truth, open challenge, all of your followers, everybody listening to this, call Mr. Nelson and say, when are you going to debate Ken Hovind? Are you a coward? Are you afraid of him? He'll say, I won't debate him on that channel. I know why, too, because they shut you up, don't they? You're the used car salesman where you can talk the guy into 2 10s for a 5 and you go out onto something else. No, we'll go one topic at a time, and I'll debunk every single word where you tell a lie, okay? I'm ready. Anytime. Bring it on, okay?
To such a degree that even you accept the origin of species by means of natural selection.
I do. Depends what you mean by the word species. Natural selection, look at it carefully, Mr. Nelson. Can you read that word on there? It selects. Doesn't create anything. Natural selection selects. Artificial selection selects. Doesn't create anything. Suppose I went to the state of Alabama and selected everybody under 6 feet tall to be killed. And then let the 6 foot and up survive. And they get to breed for the next generation, okay? Then 50 years later, we do it again. And now we're going to 6'6". Oh, wow. Could I gradually get a population of 45 feet tall people, do you think, doing that? I bet there's a limit, isn't there? You guys don't get it. Selection doesn't create anything. It selects. That's it. I believe nature selects. Cold weather would select the thin fur dogs to not make it. I agree. Doesn't give them fur to begin with. How can you not get it? Gee.
How can evolution be a lie when you yourself unwittingly accept macroevolution, at least to the level of taxonomic families, if not beyond that?
There you go again. 2 10s for a 5, talk real fast. I believe nature can select things. I believe there are variations that happen, but they always stay what anybody with a first grade education would say, that's the same kind. That's why I get kids, I bring them up, I say, here's dog, wolf, coyote, banana. Which one is different? They can figure it out. You can't figure it out, can you?
Even though you admittedly don't know what the word macroevolution really means.
Neither do you. Macroevolution means a change to a different kind. That's never been seen. You got some examples? Call Standing for Truth. There are 6 levels to the word evolution. I cover that many times. You guys don't like it. I know you want to avoid the first 4 for sure. But macroevolution has never been observed. Nobody's ever seen a cow produce a non-cow or a dog produce a non-dog. You got an example? Bring it. Bring it. Please bring it.
Jesus said, you have your father the devil, and the lusts of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he's a liar and the father of it.
By the way, Mr. Nelson, thank you for sharing so much of my seminar with your people. They just got to read some Bible verses, didn't they? Probably the first time they've ever read some. Maybe it'll get down into their heart, get them saved. Thank you for spreading the gospel for me, Mr. Nelson.
So Jesus said that the Pharisees were the sons of the devil. He said they were a generation of vipers, too. Was Jesus telling the truth about that? That their fathers were not really humans, but snakes? Does that mean that they were all brothers, perhaps with different mothers, but that their only actual father was your devil? Because if Jesus said that they were the sons of the devil, but he didn't mean that they were really the sons of the devil, then is that like when he said that he himself was the son of your God?
Well, you can make any conclusions you want on that. And there's 31,101 verses we could discuss if you'd like to go through every one. You like to pick out any one you want to pick at, okay? Today we're talking about evolution versus creation. Here you're trying to draw attention away. Is there a contradiction in the Bible? This is not the topic. Where's the evidence for evolution? Stick on topic, sir. Where is it? Bring it. I want to see it. We can talk about supposed contradictions if you'd like some other time. But right now, you are destroying people's faith in the Word of God and in common sense science by teaching this idiot religion of evolution.
A lie is misinformation or information misrepresented with deliberate intent to deceive, which is a summary of all of your seminars.
Whoa, what a grand statement. Everything I've said is a lie. How about this? 2 + 2 is 4. Am I right on that one?
It is dishonest to assert baseless speculation as though it was a matter of fact.
Then why do you do it all the time? You do it. That's all you do. You just make a baseless, crazy idea. Oh, everything's related. You don't know that. We don't see it.
Claiming facts that are not facts and pretending to know things no one even can know are both lies. Abraham Lincoln, who was born on the very same day and year as Charles Darwin, explained this very well when he said that, "I believe it is established maxim of morals that he who makes an assertion without knowing whether it is true or false is guilty of falsehood."
That's you. You make an assertion that you're related to a strawberry, and all life is related, and everything came from a rock. You make those assertions. That's all it is. Abe, sick 'em, okay?
And the accidental truth of the assertion does not justify or excuse him. The people who actually do like science aren't just going to take your word. You have to show whether you're right, and you can't do that. Not with any of the...
I believe animals produce after their kind. It says so 24 times in the first 7 chapters. I believe we could interview farmers anywhere in the world and ask them, what do you raise? Chickens. Do they always make baby chickens? Yeah. Have you ever seen an exception? No. Get some oddball varieties of chickens, but they're always a chicken. I believe I could make that assertion. Do you believe chickens are related to strawberries, Mr. Nelson?
Claims you've been making for all these years. You can't show any actual data to support creationism like I can for evolution.
Now, I like science, and I collect public school textbooks. I have hundreds of them from many, many countries, from clear back from 1880, I believe, to 2005, textbooks. I'm not against science.
Yes, you are, both in practice and even in principle, since you reject just about all scientific requirements and methodology.
What a baseless assertion, Mr. Nelson. I love science. Evolution isn't part of it. Because I pick on your particular religion and want it out of the textbooks, that doesn't mean I'm against science. Love it. Come on down. I'll show you some. I'll teach you some science lessons, okay?
You assert baseless speculation as though it was a matter of fact without any supportive evidence, just on your own erroneous assumption of authority, and you refuse to admit when you've been proven wrong repeatedly on any particular point. Like when you said that evolution teaches that we come from rocks. No educational evolutionary science text or lecturer ever taught that.
Okay, that's as far as we're going to get, because I'm going to stop on this one for a minute. I know we're over time, and I don't care. I gotta whack this one a couple times, okay? Nobody ever said we came from a rock. All right, Mr. Nelson, let's see if I can get back over here to where I want to go. Oh, no, right here. Debates, Alt-DV. Look at this. Was the earth ever a hot molten mass? Did life come from rocks? Never. If you trust, you are doing it wrong. Trust science, okay? There's no such thing as the science. All right. Why people can't see the truth. Put truth right in front of them. Why can't they see the truth? Okay. With authentic proof, documents, and pictures, he'll refuse to believe it. You are going to refuse to believe that anybody teaches we came from a rock. Let's see. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and he made it under water. So it was never a hot, molten ball of rock, okay? According to the Bible, anyway. He said it was underwater. It was livable the first week. Satan teaches the opposite. Those humans are so gullible, I can get them to believe the earth was a hot ball of rock. They'll believe it. Come on, boss. The Bible says it had water. It couldn't be a hot rock. How are you going to get them to believe that? You just watch. Everything I teach is opposite and backwards to what God said. I hate God and his creation and be determined to destroy it. God said, eat it, you die. Satan said, you will not die. God said he made the earth with water. Satan said it was a hot ball of rock. So nobody teaches we came from rocks, Mr. Nelson. Watch carefully now. And all of you followers, I'm going to show you how he slick talked all of you. 2 10s for a 5? Think now for a minute. Let's see. As the earth formed, Surface was hot. There were large pools of bubbling lava. Okay. Earth is thought to have formed 4.6 billion years ago. Earth began as a hot ball of rock. 3.9 billion years ago, Earth cooled down enough. Did you catch that? Earth began as a hot ball of rock. Nobody teaches we came from a rock. Millions of years of torrential rains created the oceans. Got 2 tenths for a 5? Fast, slick talkers like Mr. Nelson don't just give you 2 tenths for a 5. They get their followers to believe they came from a rock without even knowing. Watch. The origin of life in saltwater or freshwater. Darwin's warm little pond. Where did this warm little pond come from? There's all kinds of stuff on, did life begin in a warm little pond? Oh yes, boys and girls. It rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup in a warm little pond. It's melted rocks, dissolved rocks in a pond. And we came from there. Did life on Earth begin in a warm little pond? Encyclopedia.com. Wow. Yes, the theory that life began in warm little pond has supporting evidence from a number of experiments, and competing theories are more problematic. Let's just make a statement and call it dogma. Let's see. Earth started out as a ball of very, very hot liquid. Whoa, okay. A few 100 million years, the temperature of Earth reached 2,000 centigrade, the melting point of iron, and Earth's core was formed. Okay. Saying to a stone, thou art my father, thou hast brought me forth. That's what you guys believe. Earth formed 4.54 billion years ago. Volcano outgassing probably created the primordial atmosphere and then the ocean. But the early atmosphere contained almost no oxygen. Swirling in the waters of the oceans was a bubbling broth of complex chemicals. Progress from a complex chemical soup to a living organism is very slow, so we all came from chemical soup. What's that soup made out of, Mr. Nelson? It's the rocks that got melted from the rain, isn't it? Let's see. Earth was a hot ball of melted rock orbiting the sun. Berkeley University. Whoa, got to be true. From an accredited university. Wow, where they got a real degree. And they all believe we came from a rock, so it's got to be true. Got to be true. Yeah, okay. How did the first life form arise? Meteors hit Earth and created liquid lava. As liquid settled, heavy elements sunk toward the core, lighter ones floated on top. Light gases formed the atmosphere. As the Earth cooled, water condensed to form ocean 3.8 billion years ago. Earth's earliest rocks were fossil formed 3.5 billion years ago. The Earth was incredibly hot. It was composed entirely of magma, liquid rock, for hundreds of millions of years. Berkeley. When was the Earth a molten ball of rock? 4.5 billion years ago. How was the Earth formed? At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. Earth is thought to have formed about 4.6 billion years ago. It began as a hot ball of rock. Mental floss, okay. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth was a more or less functional, uniform ball of hot rock. It formed 4.54 billion years, plus or minus 1%. Okay. Let's see. Beneath our feet, 4 layers of the Earth. Let's see what this one says down here. Are you wondering why the Earth is made up of 4 different layers? Many scientists believe the Earth wasn't always like this. They believe that when the Earth was formed, it was a hot ball made up of mixture of rock and metals. I see. Okay. Got 2 tenths for a 5? Yeah. Get their followers to believe this nonsense. To be honest, Mr. Nelson, and all you evolutionists do believe you came from a rock. The whole Earth was a hot ball of rock. How did our planet form? Wow, a bit of gas. It all started with a tremendous bang. Somewhere in our galaxy, a star exploded, throwing out masses of gas and dust. This supernova, as they're called, happened about 5 billion years ago. Okay, let's see. And slowly, the rocky planets began to organize themselves, settling in at a comfortable distance from the sun. Planet really knows when it's comfortable, doesn't it? And finding their own orbit. Earth found its path. Yeah, Earth got a brain, doesn't it? As third from the sun. The early days, rocky pileups were still common, leaving craters on the surface. 3.8 billion years ago, the oceans formed. At this time, 3.8 billion years ago, the water condensed into rain, which filled the basins that are now our oceans. So it rained on the rocks for millions of years, made them smaller and smaller bits of rock that were dissolved into primordial soup. This is what they teach. And you said nobody teaches that. You are lying, or you're stupid, or maybe both. Hot soup is the origin of life. Let's see. The new theory explains why the language of our genes is more complex than it needs to be, suggests the primordial soup when life began on Earth was hot. So it was hot soup, not cold. Okay. Primordial soup. The prebiotic soup, hypothetical set of conditions present on Earth 4.2 to 4 billion years ago. There we go. Primordial soup. There we go, boys and girls. It's the hypothetical set of conditions 4.0 to 3.7 billion years ago, fundamental aspect to the hydrotropic theory of the origin of life. Nobody teaches where life came from a rock, Mr. Nelson? Primordial soup. There's even comics about it for the kids to get them believing this idiot idea before they can read. What does primordial soup consist of? Whoa, let's see. Oxygen-free gaseous mixture containing chiefly water, hydrogen, methane, carbon dioxide, etc. Okay. How did primordial soup come alive? Oh, here we go. 3.7 billion years ago, the primordial soup somehow sparked into life. So let me summarize it in small words for you, Mr. Nelson. The earth was a hot ball of rock. It rained on the rocks for millions of years to turn them into soup, and the soup came alive. You do believe you came from a rock. So do all the scientists who believe this stupid Big Bang theory and the origin of life theory. That's truly the ultimate mystery. How did it happen? It didn't happen. New explanation for DNA ingredients, emergence from primordial soup. There we go again. Primordial soup theory. Life began in a pond or ocean as a result of a combination of chemicals from the atmosphere and some form of energy to make amino acids, building blocks of proteins, which would evolve into all species. The first self-replicating systems must have emerged in this organic soup. Did life come from meteors? Oh, did our DNA come from space rocks? Oh, that'll do it right there. We came from space rocks. Nature, how life emerged from deep sea rocks. So, let me explain it to you simply with a chart. Maybe this will help. Maybe a visual might help. Some students need visuals, okay? Focus, Mr. Nelson. Okay, focus. 13.772 billion years ago, there was a big bang where nothing exploded. And it made everything. Earth formed 4.6 billion years ago. It was a hot ball of rock. It rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup, and the soup came alive 3 billion years ago and slowly evolved to everything we see today. So there's Grandpa right there. And you said that I said that people about the rock idea that nobody ever says that. All of you scientists who claim to believe in evolution believe you came from a rock. Time's up. Any urgent question? It's been a full hour. Man, this guy gets me fired up. Man, don't forget, Mr. Nelson, anytime, debate live, standing for truth. Okay? I don't want one of your moderators to do it because he'll let you sneak in, leave your mic on. Oops, it was an accident. No. Shut up when it's my turn to talk. I'll shut up when it's your turn to talk. Where's the best evidence for evolution? You go first. I want to see it. Come on down. Dinosaur Adventure Land. Come for Christmas dinner. We'll give you a tour of the place, of our science center. You can learn some real science. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Randy. Any urgent questions there? Sorry for going so long, but some people need whacked a little longer than others. Let's forget it, even if there are. Sorry, we'll just do some more later. All right. It's an hour. That's a long time. I've been drinking water for